This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Man killed in back road police shooting. A man was this morning fatally shot by the police at the abandoned Inez Bogues Museum along Port Henderson Road in Portmore, St. Catherine. The deceased has been identified as Tevon Taylor. The police report that a team was along the popular backroad strip when Taylor engaged them in a firefight. The incident happened around 6 a.m. Taylor was hit in the exchange and he was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The police say a revolver was seized at the scene of the shooting. Attorneys to seek bail for policeman in Donnelly Donaldson case. Lawyers representing Noel Maitland, the cop boyfriend of social media personality Donnelly Donaldson, are to seek his release on bail on August 26. Maitland, who is charged with murder, appeared before the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court this morning. The court was told that the case file is incomplete. The matter was then put off and the court made an order for Maitland to submit his fingerprints. The police constable has been in custody since his arrest on June 27 in relation to the disappearance of 24-year-old Donaldson. Donaldson was last seen at his New Kingston apartment on July 11. She was reported missing on July 13. The police had indicated that investigations concluded that Donaldson was killed on July 12 between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. They stated that this was supported by forensic evidence and technology, but noted that a motive has not yet been established for the killing. Critical mass of Jamaicans support criminals, says Panton. Retired Justice Seymour Panton has flagged Simpson's refusal to testify as fundamental to the failure of justice, declaring that a critical mass of Jamaicans support the perpetrators of crime. Discussing a long-standing bane of prosecutors and the police, Panton, former president of the Court of Appeal in Jamaica, criticized the nationals for not coming forward to give truthful statements. Whether we want to accept it or not, a significant segment of the population supports criminality. I believe that a significant section of the country supports criminality because they see things and they say nothing, he said in a news interview on Thursday. Further, Panton said that many Jamaicans harbor criminals with the knowledge that they are violating the law. The retired judge said he often sees residents on television jumping up and down about incidents that they say happened and that they saw, but when it comes to putting it down on paper and to quiz them, they are missing. He argued that the prosecution was often hampered by that failure to give evidence. There are the people who will say there are a lot of gunmen going around doing this and doing that, but I always wonder, how is it that people are only hearing the gunshots, but they are not seeing the gunmen, and they are right there in the communities, Panton said. The former Court of Appeal president described as nonsense any notion that justice was not being delivered to the poor in Jamaica. He said that judges faithfully assess the evidence that is placed before them without regard to class. It is a myth to believe that the judges look to see whether you are from Constant Spring or Stony Hill or whatever, Panton said. On the issue of the long delays in setting trial dates and delivering court judgments, Panton said that a contributor factor was the increase in evidence of crime over time. That, he said, could only be remedied by the people of Jamaica. He argued that courts have historically given priority to the disposal of criminal matters because the liberty of the subject is involved. Over the years, in my view, plainly guilty persons have refused to plead guilty, and as a result, trials are engaged in unnecessary trials because the verdict in many cases is inevitable guilty, and some of these trials are drawn out, he said. Panton noted that in the past, an insufficient number of judges in the Court of Appeal contributed to the slow pace at which cases were tried. However, he said that the recent rise to 12 judges, besides the president, has led to cases being properly and speedily dispatched. NCB employee accused of stealing almost $6 million offered bail. Arsenio Johnson, the National Commercial Bank employee accused of stealing almost $6 million from the financial institution, was offered bail on Thursday. Mr. Johnson was offered bail in the sum of $1 million when he appeared before the St. Andrew Parish Court. He is to return on October 21. The 32-year-old bank employee was charged last month with larceny as a servant, breaching the Proceeds of Crime Act and the Cybercrime Act following an investigation by the fraud squad. It's alleged that between January 2020 and July this year, Mr. Johnson, who was employed as a retail support officer, made several unauthorized transfers from NCB's suspense account to 2 accounts he is associated with. Investigators say $5.8 million was stolen in the fraud. NHT contributors encouraged to use refund towards home ownership. National Housing Trust contributors who are looking to own a home are being encouraged to use their refund to offset some of the costs associated with the process. Corporate and Public Affairs Manager Dwayne Burbick said persons should consider using the repayment to assist with the deposit, valuation reports, or legal fees. Do not just spend it because it is available. Use it wisely, he encouraged. Your refund is actually a tool to help with the home ownership process when that time comes. Do not consider your contribution as just a tax, he added. However, Burbick explained that individuals who are purchasing a home today can actually reach out to us and request to have years not due to become available ahead of time. Persons can ask for up to 5 years of refunds. Currently, the NHT is refunding contributions made in 2014 or earlier. Contributors can submit refund applications online up to December 31 using the NHT's mobile application app or via its website at www.nht.gov.jm. The app is available for download at the App Store and the Google Play Store. The NHT has committed to providing affordable dwellings to citizens year on year. It aims to deliver 42,000 of the 70,000 housing solutions that are being targeted for development by the government. Greenville remains under high surveillance, says police chief. Manchester's newly minted police chief, Superintendent Shane McCullough, says the community of Greenville remains tense following last week's double murder and the injuring of 2 people by gunmen at a party. As a result, he said restrictions have been placed on entertainment events following the August 5 killing of 34-year-old Adrian Nation, O.C. Blue, a chef of 14th Street in Greenville, and a man identified as Lloyd Levy at the party. A man and a woman were also shot and injured during the attack. There is resentment towards the measures being used and in place now, but it is not just restrictions on parties. It is a total operational drive in the space, McCullough told the news on Thursday. Greenville has in recent years been rocked by murders stemming from gang violence and conflicts. Police theorized that in the latest incident, Nation was the target of the gun attack. When asked about a review of the restrictions on entertainment events in the community, McCullough said the police are trying to avert mayhem. Until those wanton acts of criminality stop, the place cannot go back to normal. It has to be constantly policed with different types and strategies and the measures to ensure that we don't have a repeat of the incident that we had last week, he explained. He said the at-risk community requires a collaboration between the police and the critical groups to improve. Social intervention is something that has to be continuous, a consistent collaboration between the community, police, and other stakeholders. But the police alone cannot do the intervention. We are going to need the support of other people, said McCullough. One of my first initiatives is meeting with various stakeholders, not only for Greenville, but other spaces that we might deem at risk to push that social intervention and get people on board supporting us and working in partnership, he added. Other at-risk communities, including Comfort, Broadleaf, Hearties, Newhall, and Midday, have also been on the police's radar, having similarly faced the restrictions on entertainment events earlier this year. There are still areas that we still have heightened security concerns about, and they are being constantly monitored and are a part of our operational initiatives, said McCullough. He is urging residents to work with the police, even as he lauded officers for going above and beyond on the resource constraints. We are here to work together. Partnership and communication is the only way we can fight crime and solve some of the issues, he said. Commendations to the entire Manchester Police Division and the Criminal Investigations Branch because the clear operate is extremely good. I commend the men and women for the energy that they are pushing out, he added. McCullough, who has major crime fighting experience, having served as head of operations in the volatile St. Andrews South Police Division, replaced the Superintendent Lloyd Darby as head of the Manchester Police last month. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.